Hi, welcome to One Word a Day. I'm Sophia, pilot into the universe of Chinese. We're going to continue with our December's special edition of focusing on one quote from Xi, the current president of China, so that we see Chinese language in its contemporary political context and the Chinese in action of today's youth. And I'm trying not to be political commentator because that was not my domain, and I'm only a language user. And but through language, we can. I mean, it's a lens that we can see how the country lead. We can a little bit like pinch on the country leader's mindset through his words, and of course, more can be told through his actions. Okay, so today's expression he used back in 2013 after the first year of his in power. He came into power in 2012. So a year in, he was saying, 在人民面前，我们永远是小学生. Okay, so pronunciation, I mean, I'm using 1, 2, 3, 4 to mark the tonal change in Chinese. One is flat, rising is second, and then the bendy one is the third, the falling one is the fourth. So 在 is the falling one. Okay, you can, if you want to learn how to say it, but I mean, it's a very simple colloquial language. I guess in China, you can just use this phrase of like 在人民面前 is like a condition, like under this condition, 我们永远是. So that's a statement of A or forever is B. So 我们是小学生 is positioning us, meaning CCP, the ruling power. Or 小学生, especially he made this in a memorial service to 100 years of birth of Chairman Mao. So Chairman Mao was the first generation, kind of the founding father of communist China, right? So he was paying tribute to the first generation leader back in 2013 as a memorial service. So he was saying, he was kind of connecting this himself, right? He was the new leader, and then he was connecting himself to the first generation, the founding father of the country, and was in a big passage of that was saying like in front of 人民 is a Chinese expression to mean the people. It's not like we the people, like 我们 here, meaning the ruling party, the CCP. So 我们 and 人民 are two things. Okay, that's why you have this 在人民面前. You're kind of facing off, standing in front of 人民, the people. But okay, I translated 人民 as human crowd. That's a special Chinese, especially in the CCP ruling, I mean, their lingo system. 人民 was created as, okay, 人 means human, right? And 民, it's not exactly citizens, okay? It's not like 公民, like 公 means public, and 民 means you are public citizen. So there is this sense of public domain and your private domain, and then you have your right in there, right? 人民, on the other hand, it means everybody living in this country, but politically they're not really anywhere. They are a vague concept that CCP positioned them in front of as a ruling party, in front of their people, that they are positioning themselves as we CCP, 永远 forever. So Chinese forever is saying infinite distance. So into the infinite distance, even if it's a spatial sense, Chinese flip it easily to a temporal sense to say time-wise, forever, we are 小学生, grade schoolers. 小学 is elementary school, and 生 means the student of elementary school. So corresponding to each Chinese, it means smaller newbie. I mean, how cute is that? Small means Okay, Chinese say 小学 means elementary, 中学 middle school, right? That's corresponding to English because English use 中 means middle, right? And then high school, English use high means top, higher level, right? Chinese use 高中, right? So it's kind of corresponding to English as well. But then university, in English, it's become a totally whole new expression that related to universe, right? University, almost like by that stage of learning, you're kind of trying to get closer to the truth of university. I mean, the universe, right? That's what university is about. It's all kinds of truths, understand, not truths, all kinds of, the art of learning, the art of understanding, the best of cognitive achievement or engineering or math, whatever domain that you are getting close to that. That's the university in English. But in Chinese, in this sequence of starting from 小学, small, all the way, right? Small, middle, high, and then all the way to 大学. So instead of using university, Chinese use the opposite name, opposite character of 小, small, which is 大. Then when we say 大学, that means university. I mean, I never put this two together. I'm just used to say 大学, never really think about why 大学in English is university versus in English, we don't really say 大学 as in Chinese expression, right? We don't say big school. That sounds childish. But in Chinese, we do say 大学 as if, it's a bigger campus, something like that, or bigger learning. I guess in that sense, it kind of makes sense as well. Like you start small, you're small learning, and then you go upgrade all the way to big learning. So that's what 大学sounds like to me. Okay, and 生 simply means somebody who is a newbie, who is still raw, who is still green-handed, and therefore they are in the position as somebody, as a student, not a teacher. They are new to this. So that's 小学生. So here, Chinese, I mean, he is speaking as the top leader of the country, in memory of the founding father of the country, to say that we're continuing, positioning CCP, kind of humbleizing CCP in front of the old people in this country. We, the CCP, are, we'll have to regard ourselves forever as a great schooler because we're still learning how to rule. We're still learning how to make the best of the situation here. Okay, I want to focus on this one character, 学. That's tied with ancient Chinese language creation. This iconized, symbols of what it takes to learn, like the meaning, the context of learning. So learning have this student, which is the child symbol. It's just one torso, two hands, big head. That's the description of infants or babies. Okay, babies look like that visually. And then here, the two top down hands, kind of like that. That is some adult hand, like hand holding, reaching downward from top of the screen, downward, reaching down to the child. So there is this kind of hand holding in there to try to show cross-generational knowledge passing. So then this arch means the safe, sacred environment that you're in this. I guess it's kind of like a simulation almost, right? Because what school is to capture things happening outside the school environment, try to give you a simple version to help you understand that. So this arch then is this safe environment for you to learn, for you to make a ton of mistakes until you make it right. And then this two cross, there are two versions of understanding of that. Okay, one version is this shows the intricate architecture, kind of like, dimly in the background of what I'm putting here, this is ancient Chinese architecture. Elaborate. This is a palace of some sorts. Probably Forbidden City, somewhere like that. And then the roof structure was kind of the stacking up, kind of intricately interlocking, safe, secure structure that kind of hold up the roof so that you get sheltered from the nature's elements, but at the same time, you got good ventilation, all that, engineering considerations into making this Chinese roof. So that roof making architecture put on top of this arch to show that the school environment, the safe environment, was also almost like regarded as a temple. It's temple of knowledge. Because everyday household, we don't have such intricate, interlocked roof structure. And it is kind of like a temple, kind of like a church, right? In the Western sense of this is community pooled resources to build this glamorous building, the best building in the neighborhood, which is the church. So in similarly fashion, Chinese community, which are mostly the same last name holders, the same clan, they pool their community resource to build such private school. Okay, schooling back then was private school only. There was no such thing as public school. Government didn't have this responsibility to educate the next generation at all. It is the family, the extensive family networks of family form such community that pool resources to build their private school so that their second generation can have a better chance to get into power eventually. That's the goal, to get into the governing apparatus so that their family can eventually benefit. Anyways, so this temple-looking building was one version. That's kind of it's a sacred place because it's the best architecture in the hood, and that's where students, the next generation, learn from adults. Okay, second reading is this interlocking. I would like to view that as the network of knowledge because we all start somewhere, right? A local, a point, and then we may create a line, kind of understand some theory, and then we have more dimensions, more knowledge gathered, and eventually we build our network of understanding of things, right? The whole thing of education is trying to build your network of knowledge regarding how the world operates. So that's the second version, that's how I want to interpret these two processes next to each other. But this, to my view, is a beautiful understanding of Chinese language, of how the language defines what is learning. It's cross-generational, adult hands holding to a baby to form his brain in the safe environment, try to develop his network of knowledge under the sacred learning temple. Okay, so that's 学, that's tied back to ancient Chinese language versus here is 2013's contemporary Chinese expression by Xi, that's his words, 在人民面前我们永远是小学生. So he positioned himself as grade schoolers, as if he doesn't know. He almost like gave himself a pass by saying, we're only a grade schooler here. We're newbies. We don't exactly know how. Show me how. So you, the people, teach us how to rule you. Okay, so that's the context. So I'm just putting some random lecture, hand raising learning environment. But this is and eventually Xi was referred to as 小学生 because that's came from his speech and he was regarding himself as grade schoolers. All right, catching to the currency of thinking about one word day with Sophie. See you another day.